Applications for some 2,700 housing authorities' subsidized flats will open in the third quarter. Entrepreneur and former committee member of the Chinese Political Consultative Conference, Charles Ho, dies at the age of 75. And dozens are feared dead after an Air India flight with 242 people on board crashes on takeoff. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. Over 2,700 subsidized flats at 60% of the market value will be up for public housing tenants to purchase in the third quarter, with prices ranging between over $1 million to about $3.5 million. Among the 2,723 units under the Green Form Subsidized Home Ownership Scheme offered by the Housing Authority, 2,576 new subsidized flats are located in the Wan Chi Court in Kowloon Bay, which is expected for residents to intake in May next year. Size of the flats ranges from 193 square feet to 466 square feet, with prices between $1.15 million to $3.49 million, marking an average per square foot price of $6,740. In a move to increase applicants' chances of success, those failed to purchase a flat in previous schemes will be allocated an extra ballot number. Meanwhile, 1,050 GSH flats will be allocated to applicants with newborns or elderly family members. Addressing a smaller discount compared to the previous scheme, Chairperson of the authority's Subsidized Housing Committee, Clarissa Wong, explained that the market value must reflect factors such as location and facilities. Considering the decline in property prices, the 40% discount is deemed reasonable. Former National Committee member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference and prominent Hong Kong businessman Charles Ho has passed away at the age of 75. The outspoken business and political figure reviewed his successful battle against lung cancer this past February. Ho took over his family's tobacco business in the 1990s and later acquired the Singtown News Corporation. He began his political career in 1998 when appointed to the CPPCC National Committee, eventually serving as standing committee member until 2023. Known for his frank commentary on public affairs, Ho made headlines during the pandemic by pushing a front-page open letter to former Chief Executive Carrie Lam, urging the government to subsidize 2 months' salary for all employees in the city. His contributions were recognized in 2014 when he received the Grand Bohemian Medal under Leung Chun-ying's administration. Wu Tip, this year's first tropical storm to affect Hong Kong, is covering the coast of Guangdong, forcing standby signal number 1 to remain in force until tomorrow morning. The observatory will assess whether to issue higher signal number 3 in the following days. Edging closer to Hainan Island, Wu Tip brought squally showers in the vicinity of the Pearl River estuary and is expected to enter inland of western Guangdong tomorrow. The observatory forecasts that winds will strengthen gradually on Saturday, generally over the territory, and moderate progressively the following day. It added that the weather will be mainly cloudy, expect occasional heavy squally showers during the day. Reports suggest the government has proposed a flat rate of $10 for private cars using the soon-open Central Kowloon route, while the Aberdeen Tunnel toll could increase from $5 to $8. Jeremy Zhu reports.
With the artery connecting Yau Ma Tei and Kowloon Bay expected to open by the end of this year, the government has previously stated that toll fees would be set based on a cost recovery principle. Sources indicate that the $10 flat rate is projected to handle 25 million annual vehicle trips, generating $250 million in revenue. However, with operating costs exceeding $300 million yearly, the toll alone could not cover the expenses. Officials admitted breaking even might require raising fees to $17. Talking to iCable News, lawmaker Bill Tang noted the proposed charges caught residents off guard, urging off-peak pricing instead. He noted tunnels connecting Kowloon and the new territories like Eagle's Nest and Lion Rock charge only $8, demanding stronger justification for the new route's higher fees. Meanwhile, the government previously highlighted the long unchanged tolls at two tunnels. The Aberdeen Tunnel recorded a $16 million deficit in 2023 and 2024, while Xingmun Tunnel lost $52 million. Sources said the Aberdeen Tunnel toll could see a $3 rise, with authorities predicting the hike would help turn the tunnel's financial losses into a profit. As for the Xingmun tunnels, the government has yet to finalize a toll adjustment plan, but any increase is expected to be no less than $3. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
An Air India passenger jet carrying 242 people has crashed moments after taking off from a local airport. Reports said all people on board are afraid dead. Footage circulating online shows thick plumes of smoke billowing from the crash site. According to the airline, the Boeing 7878 aircraft was operating scheduled flight AI-171 from Ahmedabad Airport in India to London Gatwick in the United Kingdom. The plane lost contact with air traffic control less than a minute after takeoff, reaching just 190 meters before crashing into a residential area near the airport. The flight carried 169 Indian nationals, as well as 53 Britons, 1 Canadian national, and 7 Portuguese nationals, Air India says. A large number of injured were sent to nearby hospitals for treatment. The airport has been temporarily closed and all flight operations have been suspended. This is the first time a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner has crashed since its launch in 2009. Curfews have been imposed in another city in the United States after protests against immigration enforcement turned violent in Spokane, Washington. Meanwhile, Los Angeles entered its second night of curfews, with police reporting over 200 arrests the previous day, 17 for violating curfew orders. Jeremy Zhu reports.
Parts of downtown Los Angeles remain under curfew for a second night. Police warned protesters outside City Hall that gatherings were unlawful. After the 8 p.m. curfew took effect, multiple arrests were made. Journalists reported seeing rubber bullets used to disperse crowds. While most demonstrations have been peaceful since the emergency declaration, sporadic clashes continue. Mayor Karen Bass said the curfew will remain indefinitely, lifted only if unrest subsides.
It's really kind of interdependent on what the response is from the federal side. If there are raids that continue, if there are soldiers marching up and down our street, I would imagine that the curfew will continue.
Meanwhile, some National Guard troops deployed by President Donald Trump are training at a base 37 kilometers south of Los Angeles for crowd control operations. Authorities confirmed 2,000 personnel are already in the city to protect federal buildings, with another 2,000 guardsmen and 700 Marines undergoing training. Meanwhile, Trump again defended the military deployment at a public event.
Remember, if I wasn't there, if I didn't act quickly on that, Los Angeles would be burning to the ground right now.
Protests against immigration raids have spread nationwide. In Spokane, clashes erupted after crowds surrounded Homeland Security vehicles transporting undocumented migrants, prompting a 9:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. New York and Texas also saw demonstrations. In addition, over 1,800 nationwide protests are planned for Saturday, coinciding with a military parade in Washington, D.C. Trump warned disruptions would meet overwhelming force. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
U.S. President Donald Trump expressed satisfaction with a new trade deal framework with China, announced a day after Washington and Beijing officials finalized terms addressing tariff rates and key exports. In Beijing, the Ministry of Commerce confirmed the approval of a certain number of export license applications for rare earth-related items, noting that it will further strengthen the review of compliant applications. Xu Yurin reports.
Trump declared the trade framework with China done, pending final approval from both himself and President Xi Jinping. Trump said China will provide the U.S. with rare earth minerals and magnets. In return, the U.S. will ensure access to U.S. universities for Chinese students. Regarding tariffs, U.S. levies on Chinese goods are set at 55%, while Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods are set at 10%, maintaining the levels agreed upon at the Geneva Consensus. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick echoed Trump's claims, reiterated that the 55% tariff is final and will not be changed. In Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian called on the U.S. to work together to implement the consensus reached by the two heads of state during their phone call and give full play to the role of the China-U.S. Economic and Trade Consultation Mechanism. Citing sources familiar with the matter, the Wall Street Journal reported that China has agreed to issue export licenses for rare earths to the U.S. for only 6 months, preserving leverage for future negotiations if tensions escalated. Sources also noted that in exchange, the U.S. has agreed to ease export restrictions on aircraft engines, parts, jet engines, and ethane, a key chemical for plastics. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 331 points. Top ATIC stocks of the day. Alibaba was down $3.80. Xiaomi was down $1.90. Tencent was down $8. BYD was down $6.40. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar. Canadian dollar 5.75, Australian dollar 5.11. On to the weather now. Hot and rainy tomorrow, the temperature will be between 26 and 30 degrees. Due to the influence of Typhoon Wu-Tip, the following 3 days will see persistent rain. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Evelyn Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.